Welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly. This is primarily a drone show. We'll be sharing adventures from all over the world. We hope to have interesting guests every week, and we're glad that you tuned in tonight. We'll be flying different drones in different locations. We encourage viewer participation in the chat. If you have a question, don't be afraid to ask. Every week we'll have another interesting guest. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. We'll be sharing various adventures by our guests as well as myself. And thank you for joining us tonight. Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly Live. And I have another great show scheduled with an awesome guest. And the people that are on Facebook know who it is. And I know that he's going to be very, very interesting for all of you. He's got a vast knowledge of drones and other things that he's going to be sharing with us. But I tell you, I had a busy, busy week. You know, I ended up having, I guess you could say, two meetups. But one was a mini meetup with Al Cercione from the South Florida Drone Flyers. Al had come up to visit his family. I think it was his grandson's birthday. And he says, Ray, while I'm up there, I want to get together and fly with you. So you guys know that, I got a few secret spots up here in New York, and I like to share them. So I took Al to a couple of the secret spots, and I swore him to secrecy. But we had a good time flying together, and it was good seeing Al again. When I'm down in Florida, we get together and we fly a lot down there. But I have to say, I like Al. Al's very knowledgeable, and he's got a great group. The South Florida Drone Flyers is a growing group on Facebook, and they have a lot of meetups down there in Florida. You know, so if you're down there in Florida, get together with Al, and I know that you'll love him and his group. But anyway, we got a great crowd in the chat. It's amazing that you guys take the time out of your day to watch, the show, and I can't say thank you enough. Really, um, I really appreciate it. But um, Al was number one, believe it or not. He was number one, and JC was number two. So welcome, you guys. I really appreciate it, and it means a lot to me, like I say. But I'm going to welcome in a few more people, and I'm going to go up the list. John Olson, he was number three, and Scotty. Uh, I don't know if he likes Scotty. Scott, Jackrabbit FPV, he's in there. How you doing, Scott? Always good to see you. And Captain Joe America, USA Drone Flyer. How you doing? And John, Flying Flynn Media. Welcome to you, sir. And we got a Canadian in the house, I should say. He's a snowbird like me too, but he goes to Florida in the winter, and that's Jerry Bauer. How you doing, Jerry? Good to see you. Stephen Drones, always good to see you. And DeMarco Moore's in the house. FSU grad, '03. How you doing? And hopefully, we'll all be watching DeMarco and Ron Brown and Marcus Crawford on Drone Nation at 9 o'clock tonight. They always have a great show. But TJ Grady's in the house. How you doing, TJ? Coming to us all the way from North Carolina. And going up the list. And Steve Jones. How you doing, brother? Steve is a sergeant in charge of the drone team on the Baytown, Texas Police Department. And it's always good to see Steve in the house. Thank you, Steve. Stay safe, brother. But I'm going up the list, and we got Bob Casey. all the way from Kentucky. Always good to see Bob. How you doing? Um, and here we go, going up, and I don't want to. Joe Leo coming to us all the way from Arizona. Yeah, Arizona. Yep, I get Joe mixed up between no Texas. See, I got him mixed up. He's in Texas. Yeah, how you doing, Joe? Good to see you. Um, Gary Brand Ariels, how you doing, brother? Going up the list, Matt Bagwell's in the house. Good to see you, Matt. And as you know, we got a fellow drone pilot from Virginia Beach coming on shortly. So, and I know you'll find him interesting. But Matt is also he's an administrator of the Virginia Beach, Virginia drone group that Chuck Fisher has started, and that's a growing group too. It's going to be a great group. On and Maddie's in the house. How you doing, Maddie? Good to see you. I know it takes time to read off these names. Rob Kamada's in the house, and he's one of the guys I had a little meetup with yesterday. He was gracious enough to invite me to go into the fire department prevention day at the Syosset Fire Department, and Rob is their drone pilot for the fire department. He was demonstrating flying his M30 drone, and I tell you, I was impressed. That is some awesome drone. And thank you for the invite, Rob. I appreciate it. And it was nice to see you there with your daughter. Just to let you know, and Jessica's in and about, tell her I said hello. So, hey, David Lorenzo, good to see you. How you doing? But anyway, I'm going up the list, and Chris, Drone Life RC, good to see you. Leonard, Leonard, how you doing, brother? Leonard is a I don't know if he likes me to brag that he's a retired law enforcement officer too. But I like to let the guests who are retired law enforcement know who they are, who's in the chat. So anyway, without further ado, um, I have to say thank you again to all you guys, but I want you all to give a warm welcome to my special guest this week. His name is Chuck Fisher. He's a retired canine deputy sheriff from Carlislse County, Kentucky. And he's also, hey, Chuck, how you
Hey,
doing?
Captain Ray, how are you, sir?
Welcome to Adventures with Capt Ray Kelly live.
Thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate the invite.
And I'll tell you, it's good to get to know you a little better. Um, I saw your bio, and man, your bio is very impressive. You know, it took it took two index cards, yeah. But man, I'm telling you, I mean, you're also a veteran, right? You were served over
Yes,
in
sir.
Desert
Yes, sir.
Storm,
Yes, sir.
and a
Absolutely.
paramedic and a deputy director of emergency management, and you're the essay search and rescue coordinator. But anyway, I'm going to let you tell all the viewers in the chat about your background. But most importantly, don't forget to tell them how you got involved with drones.
I'll do that. As well as everybody knows, when you come from a very small rural county, and no matter what state you're in, if you're involved in an emergency services, especially volunteer, everybody wears more than one hat. You have to. There's just not enough people to go around. So that's how I became a paramedic and deputy director of emergency management, search and rescue coordinator, and the rescue chief, because there's just not enough people to go around. So everybody wears multiple hats.
Yeah.
And when you get bit by the bug, you get bit by the bug. Anybody that's involved in emergency services knows that, and they can relate to it. Um, my drone experience started about 14, 15 years ago, flying little bitty toy drones, and I graduated up to DJI Vision, one of their first drones that DJI had, and I think I went to the Vision Plus. At the time, the sheriff I was a deputy with the sheriff at the time said that would kind of come in handy for law enforcement, wouldn't it? And I said, well, sure it would. So I developed a drone program for our sheriff's department, and we used it for searching for evidence, people that we pursuits that would wind up in a foot pursuit, or somebody that's at large, trying to locate them at night. Having thermal aircraft does make a difference. Even in the daytime, thermal aircraft makes a difference.
Yeah.
And Amber Alerts, missing kids, um, senior citizens, the golden alerts. And as word spread about my use of drones, I had other agencies, almost every law enforcement agency for 6 counties, all the rescue squads, small police departments, even fish and wildlife and state police. I was getting calls at all hours of the night and day. Um, and I would travel. As a matter of fact, I traveled out of states on several occasions because where I lived was basically at the confluence of the Ohio and Mississippi River. So you could be in 3 states in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So it's definitely a benefit. And that's how I and drones and emergency services all came together as one.
Well, I'll tell you, needless to say, it's very, very impressive, and I find it very interesting. They didn't have drones when I was a police officer,
Yeah.
if we did a aerial stuff, you had to go in a helicopter,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
But it's great. It really is great that police departments and are using drones more and more often.
And unfortunately, in the small rural counties, a lot of your law enforcement agencies, especially in like Kentucky, Illinois, Tennessee, Missouri, they don't. I mean, a lot of them do not have a very large workforce. Their manpower is low. It could be a rescue squad, sheriff's department, or whoever, and they may not have people that are willing to go get their 107 or to get a COA to fly for, because as you well know, you have to have one or the other to fly for emergency operations.
Right,
um,
right. Maybe
and
you could just explain what a COA is.
a
A lot of people in the
COA
chat don't know that.
it's a certification of authorization that you can get from the FAA. It allows you to fly without a 107. It The COA is basically, it belongs to the agency, to the department, and they can then establish certain people that want to be involved in the drone program, and they can fly under that COA.
Right.
I found it easier, and also too, most of the volunteer agencies and even your small law enforcement agencies, they just don't have the budget to go out and buy. I mean, your basic thermal drone starts at what, 12, 13, 14, $15,000 minimum. They just don't have it in their budgets, and they just they just don't have it.
Well, I strongly recommend to the small departments that even if you got to go out and buy a mini SE, go buy a mini SE.
I'm telling you right now the Mini 3 Pro that DJI just came out with, I actually have it on my shelf. I can Garrett Hultgren from out in Colorado. Their SWAT team is using the Mini 3 Pros right now, and the Mini 2s. They're fantastic
Yeah,
for interior, for I mean for to send drones in
right.
advance of an entry team. I'd rather risk a drone than risk an officer's life. So
Exactly.
that's the part. Everybody laughs and calls them toy drones. They're not
And
toys by any far stretch of the imagination.
and it's something, Chuck, because I had met Steve Jones down at Spin Up down in Texas
Hmm.
last year, and he was telling me about their drone program, and he said obviously I want to expand it, and he told me that he wants to have a mini two in every sector car. We call them sector cars here in New
Yeah.
York, but patrol vehicle, you know. But the best part of it is since that time last November, he has doubled his drone unit.
Well,
Yep.
I mean, you can take it if you've got a barricaded suspect, somebody that's suicidal, or somebody that's homicidal with hostages. You can send that drone in and find out exactly where they're at. You can send the drone in advance. I mean, 10 feet in front of the SWAT team and let that drone look inside the shower, behind the doors, underneath the beds. I'd rather risk a drone that costs less than $1,000 than risk an officer's life.
And you're absolutely right, Reptilian. Mavic 3 is a good option for
Absolutely,
$5,000 for the
absolutely.
police. Yep.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of your rural sheriff's departments or PDs that have you'd be surprised at how many have a staff of less than a dozen, and their budgets are super small, and they just can't find the room in their budget, so they tend to go to the mini threes. The, the Mavic.
The Mini 3 is an awesome drone. I don't
Oh,
own one
it's
personally, but everybody who has one swears by it.
I've got one sitting on the shelf right now, and it's got obstacle avoidance. It's got tracking. I mean, your 4K 60 frames a second. I mean, it's an amazing aircraft. I mean, in itself, it's an amazing aircraft.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Maddie makes a good point that a lot of the departments down there they're banning the Chinese-made drones, you know. But it's going on here too. It's going on all over the
It
country,
is. It is.
and
It is.
everybody knows DJI is the best. And
Wait a
that's sort
minute.
of a
Wait a
joke
minute.
because
Wait a
you're
minute.
probably
Wait a
holding a
minute.
Nortel. I know. So tell us about that drone, Chuck.
This is going to be the DJI Enterprise. It's going to be the V2 640T thermal, thermal radiometric. It also has a 6K camera, RGB. It's a very formidable aircraft. You don't, as everybody knows, with Evo, with Autel, you don't have the flight restrictions that you do with DJI. There's no unlocking flight zones and all that kind of stuff. You can pretty much send it up off number 12 runway at your local airport.
That's what
Now
I've
they
heard.
kind of now now they kind of frown on that, but you can do it. It comes with spotlights and speakers and all kinds of attachments that mount to the top of it. Uh, as everybody can see, I've got the Exolander airframe with
Yep.
every light that they manufacture, including the Argo, which I don't have mounted. If other aircraft, manned aircraft, don't see this thing in the air at night, they're blind. I mean,
Right.
but
Exactly.
Autel makes a very, very solid aircraft, and I've got to give it to DJI. You will never hear me bash another drone company's product. I think every drone, every manufacturer, every aircraft that's made by that manufacturer has a place. All drones have a place. You have to find a place for that drone. Be it search and rescue, be it law enforcement, be it firefighting, or being it a hobby. They all have their place.
You know, Chuck, you showed that drone, and Rob is in the chat, and he put up that he let me fly his Ortel
Yeah.
with the thermal, and I was so happy about that, and I got to say thank you again to Rob for letting me fly it. But that is an awesome drone. There's no doubt
Yes,
about it.
640 by 512 is 640 by 512. I don't care who makes it. I mean, the sensors are different and all that kind of stuff. But when you take all the plastic off of them, they all look just about alike on the inside.
Right, right. So, do you have any success stories that you can share with us
Sure.
when you actually called out on a
Um,
case or whatever?
it's we've had several, as a matter of fact, across 6 counties in Western Kentucky. A lot of them were emergency management, search and rescue calls, looking for missing children or suicidal people, or even the fact that senior citizens using. I think two or three were done during the day with the standard RGB. As a matter of fact, it was a Mavic drone. It was a matter of fact, it was a Mavic Enterprise, and I was in the RGB side. A couple of them, I've flown the Mississippi River for people that have fallen out of boats, off tugs. Unfortunately, some aren't found. The
Right.
Mississippi River is not a very forgiving place at all.
Hmm.
At its best day, it's not friendly. But a lot of success stories in the search and rescue aspect, and as well as the law enforcement. As
Well,
you
that's
well
good.
know, as well as you know, in law enforcement, when it comes time for a pursuit, if they crash and they're not hurt, if they can get through the air conditioner vent, they're going to run. So
Right, right.
it's better.
Exactly.
It's better to call somebody if they have thermal capabilities. I mean, officers walking through the woods at night who've got flashlights, even if they're mounted to weapons, they've got lights. But I mean, all they got to do is aim at the flashlight. Um, it's better
Yeah.
for law enforcement to back out and send in a thermal. And just, I've I've learned several tactics over the years. You can fly around or you can search, and that's two different things. Flying and searching is not the same.
Okay. I'm gonna let me just welcome in a few more people because we got a
Sure.
couple of celebrities in the chat now. Jaybird Drone and
Yep.
Michael Wright, he's in there, and Barkley 107 Drones. These guys are all celebrities of the drone community. So
Yes,
we gotta,
sir. Yes, sir. Hey,
welcome
guys.
them in. So thank you all for watching tonight. And like I say, Chuck Fisher is an amazing guest. So go ahead, Chuck. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's not.
So what's the difference between searching and flying around?
Flying around, you miss a lot. You're not being able. We call it squinting, and you can either squint a monitor. And I think you've got a video of a response vehicle that I built. You can either squint a monitor or you can squint SD cards, and that's where you're recording and actually doing a grid search of that area. And you have somebody, when that battery's depleted, when you change batteries, you pull the SD card, pass it off to somebody on a laptop, and let them squint those images and see what they may see, something you didn't see. Now you can fly around. Flying and searching is two different things. It's just, I mean, if I've learned in law enforcement, if you will sit in one spot, if you know a basic general direction of which way they may have went, if you would just get up at a decent altitude, 250 AGL, and just sit there and
Right,
scan and just slowly just take sections of the horizon, sit there for a minute, and then just pan a little bit and just keep. You'll be surprised how much you see. And if somebody's moving, they're not gonna lay down and sit still long. If they think they've got away, they're gonna start moving, and
right,
that's when they get caught.
right, right. No doubt about it. And it's great. It's great. I love
Well,
I love hearing the success stories. I really do, you
when
know.
you can sit 250 feet up in the air and you're a half mile or maybe even three quarters of a mile away, and you're on three or four times zoom. I mean, they can't see the drone. They don't even know a drone's even up there. And that's how I found one of the last subjects that I found. He had no clue the drone was even there. and was able to send in 2 teams to capture
Great.
him
We
without
love
him
it.
even knowing it.
We love it. All right, listen, I'm going to show you your vehicle that you set up right
Okay.
now. But before I do that, I want to tell people in the chat about the third annual South Florida Drone Meetup, and we're going to have it again in Jensen Beach, Florida, at the Jensen Beach Causeway Park. It was a great location. That's where we had it last year, and it was really conducive to GPS flying as well as FPV flying. Maddie coordinates the FPV flying, and I think he'll agree with me. No doubt about it. It was just a great location. Everybody had a great time, and I'm not just saying it because I'm involved with this thing. Um, you ask anybody who attended, and I think they'll all agree it was an awesome event. We had the United States Army drone team there, and that was a big hit. We had Mark Fisher from the Rhode Island Drone Meetup Group giving an editing presentation, and that was great. And then, of course, we had Dennis Lovelady performing for us with some live entertainment and singing and playing his ukulele. So it was really a great time. So, Chuck, I'm putting you on the spot right now. I don't usually put the people on the spot, but I'm inviting you to come April 1st down to South Florida.
Hey, don't put it past me. Don't put it past me.
But anyway, and just to let you know, I got the list right here. We're up to 49 names on the list
I'm
right now.
49.
49
You
that
need
say they're
50. You
coming.
need 50.
But we're going to do a little something different. One of the people on the list, you're getting a number as you tell me you're coming. We're going to put a nice number out, and somebody's going to get a nice raffle prize just based on your position on the list. So,
That's
but you got
awesome.
to be there. You can't just put your name on the list. You got to come and attend. But anyway, that's it on the South Florida Drone Meetup. And again, if you have any questions for Chuck, please ask. We'll try to answer them. And it's one of those things where I find you very, very interesting, Chuck. You know, we're talking law enforcement right now, more or less, and search and rescue and all of that. But I got to show them your vehicle here. So let's make sure I can share this without losing the stream, because sometimes I lose the stream. But maybe you could tell people um, what's here. I sort of started it in the middle, maybe.
This truck is not the average grocery getter. It's a
Should
2020
be
Dodge
playing.
Durango.
Yeah, it's playing. What you're looking at there is a
Uh,
Evo 2 Pro.
yes, I can take
Um,
everything out of it in about
that
10
is on
minutes,
a lift
except
door
for the
with
large
the
monitor in
triple
the
tech
rear. It
tablet.
stays in place. But I've got it set up
At the
for
Dodge, it
UAV
was my Dodge
response, be
Durango.
it for the commercial
Now
side
that
or
was your
emergency
own personal
services
vehicle
side.
or a
That's
county
So I'm going to
vehicle?
No, that's
take
my
the
personal.
camera around to the
All
rear of
the
the
drones that
vehicle
I
and kind of
used
show you how
throughout the
we have
years,
that set
I
up.
paid for all of them.
Okay.
And I
And
did
once
receive
again,
a
my
few
apologies for
donations, or I
filming in the
should say
garage, but
contributions,
we were in the
to a few of
process
the
of getting
drones.
everything organized
But I
for
had a
the
42-inch
response we
monitor
had the
and
other
then
night
a
with the
smaller
sheriff's
monitor
department,
to
where
the
we had to
left-hand
go
side,
locate a fugitive that
2
decided to flee on
laptops
foot,
in the back.
and the 640T was able to find him in approximately 15 minutes. But I digress. What you see now is the Autel Evo live deck, which streams the live video that the aircraft sees
Okay.
direct, and it's on a tripod, which is
That's the
usually
Evo 2
sitting on the roof of my
Pro
truck.
version 1,
The live deck
V1.
you also will see has a strobe light to remind me to take it off the truck before I drive off. That has almost happened before I put the strobe on it because I'm getting old and forgetful.
That's
Behind that, you're
fine.
going to see a 36-inch 4K monitor that actually receives that live stream. To the left of that, you're going to see a 20-inch monitor that is capable of receiving our live weather data.
Okay.
And I
we
can
had live
also
weather.
run software,
Yep.
which is
So you monitor the weather also.
Yes,
that
sir.
you will find
Absolutely.
on the competitor's drone. I can see the all aircraft in the vicinity of which I'm flying and operating.
Now, you also have a visual
To the
observer
immediate
that, or an
right in
assistant,
there,
right?
what you see the
Absolutely.
little box
I
with all
ran
the lights on it,
VOs.
that's going to be
Absolutely.
a Fluorion 64,000 milliamp battery storage unit to power pack. Believe it or not, folks, that unit right there can power everything you see in the back of this truck for almost 8 hours. It's a little over 7.5.
I'm going to fast
Directly
forward up to
behind
your
that
drones, all
is
right?
a
Just to
Okay, go ahead.
let them take a look at your
that we're
drones.
flying. So
It
stand
should be
by.
coming up shortly.
Readjusted the
There they
tripod,
go.
so
You
hopefully we
tell
won't
everybody
bounce
about that.
anymore. The
You're
aircraft
looking at,
closest to me, it's going to be
I
the
believe
Altel
is,
Evo 2 640T.
yep,
Special
that's
thanks
going to
to Garrett from Altitude
that's
Hobbies.
going to be
Garrett
the first 640T
went
thermal,
above and beyond to get
and
me this
then the
aircraft.
next
We had
two
a
are
few
going to
issues, but
be
Garrett pulled it off. And let me tell you,
Pro
Altitude
versions.
Hobbies will go above and beyond, as well as
And I
Mr.
was
Austin
also running
Merriman
the
from Covert
V1
Drones.
smart controllers as well.
But that's the 640T. In the middle, you will see
Trini
the 6K Pro.
Weeks wants to know your
In the unit
channel,
far
and
end, you
I'm
see
not
the
good at
Alto
posting
Evo
links,
2
but it's
8K.
Critical Drone
In the orange
Solutions.
case
Yep.
And right
is a
now he only
rapid
has one
charger
video up.
Yeah, we're
for
He's in
building
the
the
that
two
process.
channel.
system.
I'm
I'm
We're
running
covering
moving
some
full
other
everything
stuff.
over,
batteries,
moving everything
balanced
over from
charge
Vimeo back over
in 1
to
hour.
YouTube.
And that makes a huge difference when you're on a long operation. I also carry a Honda 3000 watt little bitty generator that's super quiet that I use to do all my recharging of my Evo 2 batteries.
And that's important.
You may not be able
Yes,
to
it
see
is.
it. There's a small black case between the orange case and this black bag. And I have every cable, I think, known to God. I can charge anything from an
I have
iPad,
probably over
iPhone,
300 different
Android,
cables.
you name
It's
it, I can
Oh,
unreal.
charge it.
yeah, definitely. Well, I know the people, in the chat found that very interesting. No doubt about it. You had quite the setup. But we have another celebrity in the chat, and that's Ken Huffbauer. Place it here. He's watching us. How you doing, Ken?
Absolutely.
Good to see you. And Dustin, One Vision Aerial, how you doing? And Robbie, RC Pro, how you doing? Greg Pittman's in the house. Thank you all for watching. But yeah. So
Hey,
anyway,
Ray, I saw something in the chat. Somebody said something about logbooks.
yep.
I wanted to explain to everybody. I don't send the bird up that I don't log it. I don't care if it is for just a for fun flight, hobbyist, um, just getting an aerial of a good sunset. I log that flight. Um,
Very important.
it's very critical, and I'll tell you why. I also started a company in Kentucky this past year called Western Kentucky Aerial Spraying LLC. We did actual crop dusting with drones. I have a 137 exemption, and the FAA has hired. I'm telling you, I went through 2 days, 2 very crucial days of. You wouldn't think they would come and do a check ride on a drone, that they wouldn't come and do a airworthiness check on a drone. But everything is about logging your flights.
Ken
Logging
Huffbauer
your
puts in a
flight.
good point here that the new aloft update allows you to log your
Absolutely.
flights.
But
That's good.
they want to be able to see it in paper form. Um, we actually took an Excel spreadsheet and actually went to our DJI Agris software, and I believe it was a loft, or was it before you fly? I can't remember which one it was, but we were able to download those flight hours. It didn't matter if it was on an Agris aircraft, if it was on a thermal aircraft for commercial operations, or if it was just for a hobby flight. we were able to download those flight hours into an Excel spreadsheet because that is all the FAA examiner cared to see. That's all they
Okay.
wanted. They wanted to see that flight log.
Yep.
And if you didn't have it, you got hammered.
I got mine right here. There's mine.
Ev- There's
And
mine.
I got my stickers on it too. But anyway, no,
It's getting more and
that's a
more.
good.
As the drone industry expands and technology grows, we all know ABSD is right around the corner. How it's going to it's gotten pushed back, but we all know with ABSD coming, there's going to be, I mean, compliance coming with that, and with compliance is enforcement, and there's going to be, it's getting serious, people. They're hiring more and more. I mean, I was told, I mean, to my face, that they are hiring more and more FAA inspectors to go out. I mean, all these new drones now. I mean, I just downloaded the firmware update to this aircraft, and it's ABSD capable now. It's got the ABSD receiver switch in it, and all the FAA's got to do is get a complaint from somebody, and they've got your serial number. And if you registered your drone, they can come straight to your front door.
Rob Kamada is asking you to open up your logbook and explain what you have to fill out for
Okay.
each flight.
I will start with, I'll just go through I'll just do a random. All right. First thing it does, it asks the date. It asks the U.S. make and model, the block or area in which you flew, aircraft incident, COA, and the date of that COA, when the COA or your 107 was approved, your latitude and longitude from and to, aircraft category, and it would be UAS or UAV, flight conditions, day, night. The guys that are 107, you can now fly. Everybody knows you can fly at night now.
Yep.
Your altitude that you flew at, your max altitude. Whoever the remote PIC, um, whoever your VOs, mission coordinator, which would be your PIC, and it would be total number of launches and total number of recoveries. That's landings. Total duration of flight, how long you were there, and it wants remarks, mission, crew, exemption numbers, and that's just this specific logbook. Guys, you can go
You know,
on. You go on
you know,
eBay, Amazon. There's 1,000 different logbooks out there. I just like this one.
Chuck. I usually schedule time for a tip of the week, but you just covered it right there. This is a great tip. I had talked about that a while back, and it's just a great tip for everybody to keep a logbook. It really is. You know.
Folks, ABSD is right around the corner. It's coming. And those that have it, the older drones that think, well, it's not going to matter for us. Yes, it does, because you're going to have to buy a third party module to attach to your aircraft.
Okay. All right. We're gonna take a little break right now because I'm gonna do the raffle. I do a monthly giveaway, just to let you know. I do a monthly giveaway, and for the month of September, it was a polo shirt, and we got four names in the hat. Just to let you guys know, the four names are in the hat here, and it's one of those things where I just close my eyes and I reach in the hat, and we're gonna see who wins. I don't know who they are, but you got a 25% chance of winning here. So let's see. Let's see. All right. So anyway, it's David Lorenzo. Congratulations, David. You win the polo shirt for the month of September. But anyway, David, just message me your address and I'll get it into mail to you. Okay. Um, but just to let everybody know, we're going to do the contest shortly. I don't want to do the contest right now. I want to hear more about Chuck, and his flying. And you said you have two businesses, right?
The other business is Critical Drone Solutions, and that's the shirt I'm wearing now. That's going to be that is mainly a commercial, residential, and commercial aerial photography, videography, mapping, radiometric, whatever's needed. And now that I'm in the Norfolk, Virginia Beach area, I have the ability to do maritime and also the railroad. And I spent, I think it was 2 weekends ago with the Virginia Beach Hazmat Conference and made some good contacts there. We're doing networking, We're going to spend all winter long doing networking and that kind of stuff. And I've already offered my services at no cost to any search and rescue, any law enforcement, anyone that needs a drone. You would think that Norfolk would be in Virginia Beach. I mean,
Yeah,
everything in Virginia Beach is volunteer. Their rescues,
really.
their ambulance services are volunteer. Their fire departments volunteer. Uh,
Wow, I had no idea.
it's really amazing. It's volunteer, and I've I
I
was
give you a
actually
lot of
I actually
credit.
told not long ago that they actually had a young man that they were trying to find that they suspected drowned in the Atlantic. He wasn't far offshore, and they could have really used a drone. So,
Yeah, sure.
um, I mean, boats in the water. I've been there. It's really hard to see. I mean, unless you're right up there on top of them or doing what we call a body drag, or have a
Have a good
side scan sonar. But
have a good
drones
night, Ken. Thank you for popping in.
drones are the future, and they've been the future since they hit the market. It was an evolution by destiny. It was gonna happen. um, Law enforcement and search and rescue, I mean, look at how hard DJI and Autel are marketing to emergency operations and emergency services. I mean, they're building aircraft. And yes, the FAA calls these aircraft, they're designated by federal law as aircraft, but they are designing and building aircraft
And
strictly
how
for
about this new
emergency.
release that they just did? These enterprise drones.
Yeah,
They
they just come.
drastically reduced the price of them.
Oh, you can look at buying the new DJI M3T, which stands for
3,200.
I mean, if you bought the entire bundle package, which I think Garrett told me was like 4 batteries, he's also a dealer, by the way, for DJI. I think you can pick it up for like 7 grand. I mean, and that's like 4 or 5 batteries with 45 minutes flight time.
Yeah, yeah.
640 by
Matt
512.
Bagwell saying that the Norfolk PD was looking for a drone pilot.
Yeah.
All
Hey
right, there you
Matt.
go.
Hey Matt, they're looking for you, buddy.
But anyway, no,
Matt's a
no,
good guy. Matt's a
he,
great guy.
he is, and he's been putting out some nice videos lately.
Yes, he has.
He flies a lot by the water, and I fly a lot by the water, and he follows the boats and the
Yep.
tugs down there, and I really enjoy his videos.
Yeah,
So
me and Matt, we're fixing to get together and do some stuff. We've already had some talks about it, so I'm kind of looking forward to that.
we're talking about videos, and I do show some of the viewers videos. So I want to take the time out now to show JC flying his video, his latest video. He gave me permission to show it, and I'm going to take a couple of minutes to show it, if you don't mind, Chuck.
Go ahead.
And
Absolutely. Would love to see it.
JC, he is becoming quite the FPV pilot, and he's a good guy. So let's share this one, and I give him a lot of credit. I do, because he was a big GPS guy, and now he's over with the Avata. And you have that DJI FPV too. Yeah, JC.
He's proud of that Avada.
Yeah. And I like the way he edits his videos also. But I mean, you'll see. I mean, the progression that he's made
Yeah.
flying around since he started is amazing. Yep. And everybody is getting this. Not everybody, but a lot of people are getting the Avada. It looks like such a cool drone.
It is. It's a very it's basically a big Cinewhoop. It's a ducted Cinewhoop. Very stable GPS. Um, it's an amazing aircraft. It really is.
It is. Now, JC really knows how to fly this thing now. Very, very cool, JC. And thank you for letting me show it. And just to let everybody know, JC booked his hotel room already for the South Florida drone meetup. He booked it the week after the other one ended. He was the first one to book his room.
I'll be darned. That Avada is super stable.
It is. Very cool, JC. Oh, he says it's easy to crash too. All right.
Oh, yes. When you're flying FPV, since some people don't know what that is, especially viewers that aren't drone pilots, so he's wearing a pair of goggles on his head, and he's actually having to manipulate the controls, and all he can see is what he sees in his goggles.
Yeah, and he booked the same room too. And when I say the same room, he just takes over the penthouse. Up, he gets the penthouse suite. Very, very cool video, JC. But anyway, I hope to fly FPV maybe someday. I'm just not ready for it yet. But thank you for letting us show it, JC. Yeah.
Good video.
It is, you know. But I've seen Rob Kamada fly the Avada, and I see CV Bronx fly it in person, and it really looks like a cool drone. Rob actually offered me,
cool.
Ray, you want to fly it? And you get nervous when somebody's got a new drone. You don't want to crash their new drone, so I declined. But if he ever offers me it again, I'm gonna try it. That's for sure.
Yep.
So, but and just to let you know, I do a monthly giveaway, and I usually pick the lucky number. I was picking the lucky color there for a while too, but I'm doing it totally different from now on. I'm gonna go to my latest video on my channel, and I'm going to ask somebody some information about it. And the first one that gets it in the chat, their name's going to go in the hat. So I want you all to tell me the name of the ferry in my last video. And if that's too hard for you, then we'll have to switch it. And you're eligible, Chuck, because you have no idea. And I don't think you watched that last video that I posted yesterday. I think I posted it yesterday or the day before. Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah. But I'm going to try to keep an eye on the chat, and we'll see if anybody gets it. And if not, then we'll have to start giving hints. So, but now the comments in the chat have stopped because people are looking at the video.
I think David Lorenzo, he just commented.
Yeah. So anyway, George, Oh, look at this. Dustin's got it. Very good, Dustin. You got it. P.T. Barnum Ferry. Very good. Your name's going to go in the hat for next month's drawing. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. That was fun. I was wondering how that was going to go and whether or not somebody would get it or not. But um, now, Chuck, I know this isn't drones, but you were also a canine deputy. Can you
Hmm.
tell us a little bit
Yes.
about that?
Yeah. My first sheriff, Sheriff Perry, when I came into the sheriff's department, after about 2 years of being in the sheriff's department, I worked with a drug task force officer for those 2 years. And we learned real quick, people like to, drug dealers like to, um, they like to use their Fourth Amendment rights to decline search of vehicles. And even though you may have got a tip that there was X car coming through town with a load of drugs or whatever, and Ray, you know what I'm talking about. You've been
Yep.
there,
Yep.
and you do a traffic stop for whatever turn signal. I mean, whatever the case may be, anything to get probable cause for a traffic stop because you know there's dope in the car, and you do the driver's license, proof of insurance, and we're doing alcohol and drug interdiction tonight. Would you mind if we search your vehicle? The ones that have nothing in their car, 9 times out of 10, if they're not in a hurry, they say, "Sure, go ahead, search the car."
Yep.
I
Exactly.
mean, those that have something to hide are like they're many expletives. You're cussed. You're told to go blank yourself, and they drive away with the dope because I mean they have the Fourth Amendment right. I mean to say no. I mean I would too. I would too. Um, so the drug task force officer that from the Penny Rod Drug Task Force at the time told, and you're right, everybody should exercise their rights, absolutely. And I, as a ex police officer, will tell you that absolutely. Um, but he told the sheriff straight out, I mean, we had a bad methamphetamine problem, very
Yep.
bad, and most rural counties do. I don't know of any rural county that doesn't have a methamphetamine problem, um, no matter where you are. And he told him, and said, until you get a dog, you're not, I mean, you're not going to even knock a dent in what's in your county and coming through your county. And we just didn't have the budget. And I and my wife at the time prayed on it and thought about it, and I purchased a canine out of my pocket, and she was the
Out of your
first
pocket.
canine in the history of that county. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep.
And she was the first canine in the history of that county.
That's
And
great.
they still have the canine running strong. The guys are doing great, and the sheriff's department is doing a fantastic job right now. And they have a great sheriff now, which the sheriff which I work with this sheriff and the sheriff previous, and they're both great. But the canine Izzy, my canine, she started the canine program.
That's great.
Um,
It
um,
really is. I worked in narcotics for 10
yeah,
years
Bob.
undercover.
Bob, when I left, we really weren't seeing any fentanyl. It was mainly which marijuana is legal here in Virginia back then. I mean, it's marijuana, and it was the methamphetamine. You would occasionally see some ecstasy, which is an MDMA and that kind of stuff, um, absolutely, Redux. You're right. It should be considered a national emergency.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
the
that's
canine
interesting. You know.
the
I mean,
canine can, I mean, she's not finding the dope. I mean, they're not finding the dope. They're trained to indicate alert, either a passive alert or an aggressive alert, whatever the case may be, on the
Gotta watch
on the
Fish Eye.
odor.
I think
Yeah.
Fish Guy's got a drug problem. To tell you the truth, Don, you got to watch him.
Yeah, you better watch him. But I
He's got
mean,
a puppet. Just to let you know,
they're
Don Mudball Creative. He has a puppet called Fish Eye.
fish eye. But the dogs are trained to detect the odor of narcotics, and it's our job to find what they detect. Their noses are 100. Their olfactory system's 100,000 times stronger than ours, so they have the nose. And I used to say, the dog's nose knows, and she was right more often than what she was wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's one of those things where I still enjoy listening to cop stories. You know, like
Sure.
I find it very interesting
But I mean,
interviewing you and talking to you.
and our story is not any different than any
And
story across America. I mean, the rural counties, I mean, they have small budgets and they can't afford dogs that cost 15, 20, $30,000. They can't afford dogs that have to be trained at a specific level. And I mean,
now, what kind of dog was that again?
German Shepherd. As a matter of fact,
Yeah,
she's
but it was
down.
a fancy name, right? Wasn't it
Uh,
a fancy breed of
uh,
German Shepherd?
No, she just well,
Oh, okay.
uh she was imported, but I mean um just a German Shepherd, a true German Shepherd, a very small dog, um, but she matter of fact she retired when I did. When I left law enforcement, so did she. She's
Okay.
downstairs. As a matter of fact, if I didn't have that door sitting, she'd try to be in my lap.
She'd be on the live stream too.
Yeah, she'd be on my live stream.
Well, I have to
She
say,
she's
Chuck,
she's
you've been
very
one of
good
the
at her
most
job.
interesting guests that I've had on the show so far. So I want to say
I
thank you to
appreciate
you.
that. I
I
appreciate
really
that.
do. The hour goes by quick, just to let you
Yes,
know.
it does.
And we have another show that goes on right after this one. It's called the World Drone Community with
Hmm.
Robbie Gray and Al. I don't know if his co-host is back or not, but he's always got a great show at 7 o'clock. So please tune in there. And then we got the Grumpy Vlogger at 8, and that's always a good show too. And then Drone Nation at 9 o'clock tonight. And we have a great show scheduled on our fly for Fun Show, me and Johnny, on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. So if you get a chance, watch that.
Sure.
And I mean, there's a whole lineup. And you know that we have the drone guide. I think did I
Yeah.
send you a copy of this?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
All right.
I got it.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
got it.
Good. Good. But if anybody wants a copy, get a hold of me and or Johnny, and we'll get you a copy of the live stream drone guide. But as much as I hate to say it, Chuck, now's the time to say your goodbyes and anything you would like to promote, like your Facebook
Captain
group.
Ray, Captain Ray, I appreciate you asking me to come on the show. Thanks to the community and all the guys in chat. If you get a chance, hit me up on Facebook. Matt Bagwell, I'll be talking to you real soon, probably tomorrow. If you guys get a chance, get your birds up, be legal, fly safe, and at the very least, educate as many people as you can.
That's well said. Well said. And I know I do that. I try to do that. If people come up to me while I'm flying, I try to put the drone in a hover and take a 30 seconds or a minute to talk a little bit to them. And I tell them when I bring the drone down, I'll be more than happy to show you more and tell you more.
Sure.
And
It's
that's
all
good.
about education. It's all about education.
Exactly.
We have to educate the public and get the kids involved.
And the other, yeah, well, that's my logo for my show is let's get kids hooked on drones, not
That's
drugs.
right.
You
Not
know,
drugs.
and I have to say, I'm encouraging people to bring children to the South Florida Drone Meetup this year. Al brought his granddaughter, and Maddie brought his son last year, and we're hoping to get more kids there this year. But I want to say thank you again, Chuck, for being on the show. And I want to say
Greatly
thank you to
appreciate it.
everybody in the chat for watching this show. And just get out there and, like our show says, fly for fun. And if you can make a few bucks and you got your Part 107, do that too.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
So I just want to say good night to everybody, and we'll see you again next week. And if you just want to hang around, Chuck, we'll have a party as soon as the broadcast ends.
God bless.